So as we go into lesson 2, we're going to be combining operations within the same problem. Up until now, we did problems that involved adding whole numbers or subtracting whole numbers or multiplying them or dividing them, but not within the same problem. So if you have more than one operation within a problem, you have to know which operation to do first. So that's called the order of operations. Now, there is a little rhyme or rule out there. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. But you have to be careful if you use this thing called PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. It's a mnemonic device to help you remember that. The first letter, P, stands for parentheses. And so you're going to do anything that is within parentheses. And you also should know that beyond parentheses, there are also brackets and braces and square roots and division bars. So there are other symbols that also mean do that first. Okay? Exponents will be next. We won't have any exponents in lesson 2 because we're just doing adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing whole numbers. But we'll see some of those a little bit later in the semester. The M and the D, now that can be misleading. It's not multiply then divide. It's multiply or divide, whichever is first, left to right. So multiplication and division have the same priority, so you have to take them in order from left to right. And the same thing is true with add, subtract. So add or subtract, whichever is first, left to right. So it can be a little misleading if you think of PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, as multiply then divide, because it's not. It's multiply or divide, whichever comes first. So let's look at a few examples. You'll notice in example 1, I have 2 operations. I have multiplication and I have addition. Well, remember, multiplication is before addition. So we'll go 28 plus 5, which is 33. So we'll multiply 14 times 2 first to get 28, add 5, and then add those together to get 33. Now, in example 2, even though we have addition and multiplication again, we have the parentheses. So remember, the parentheses will come first, so we'll add first. And so that's going to give me 9 times 3, which is 27. So the 5 plus 4 in parentheses is added first to get 9. Then you multiply by 3 and you get 27. So the final answer there is 27. In number 3, we have addition, and we have multiplication, and we have parentheses. So the parentheses have to come first. So you'll notice I'm not going to do anything except what's in the parentheses. 3 plus 6 is 9. Now, I'm going to multiply first. So that's 16 plus 4 times 9 is 36. Add those together, and I get 52. So always do what's in the parentheses first, then follow multiply or divide, then add or subtract. Final answer, 52. In number 4, we have addition, subtraction, and multiplication. Now, normally the multiplication would come first, but because of the parentheses, we have 22 plus 2 in parentheses. That's going to be 24 times 11 minus 9 is 2. So that's going to be 24 times 2 is 48. So notice that the multiplication came last, but only because there were parentheses there that told us we had to do that first. Example 5. Now remember, I said there were other kinds of grouping symbols, and this division bar is a grouping symbol. And what it tells you is, do what's on top first, do what's on bottom next, and then divide at the end. So it's like there are parentheses implied here and here, even though there aren't any parentheses there. So we need to do that numerator or top of that fraction first, and then the denominator, and divide last. So in the numerator, the top of the fraction, have addition and multiplication. So 2 plus 13 times 2 becomes 2 plus 26. Okay, I'll finish that out. That's going to be a 28 in my numerator. And then in the denominator, 11 minus 2 times 2 is going to be 11 minus 4, which is 7. And then 28 divided by 7, that division bar comes last this time, is going to be 4. So you have to think of that division bar as a grouping symbol. And some of you who've taken math classes before may think, well, I can just cancel out those times twos, but that's not true. You've got to follow your correct order. Number 6, I've got addition, I've got a multiplication, and I've got subtraction. That means the multiplication has to come first. So 7 plus 5 times 8 is 40, and then minus 2. So I'm going to go left to right. 47 minus 2 is 45. It's 45. Now, if you're working and you have a little more space, my actual preference for you is to work vertically down the page. 7 plus 40 minus 2. 47 minus 2 is 45. And each of these rows is equal to the row above. And you can do it horizontally like I've been doing these problems because of my space here. But it's really better to do it straight up and down vertically like that. Okay, number 7. I've got multiplication, addition, division, subtraction, and I've got to follow my order of operations. Now, I don't have any parentheses. I don't have any exponents. So I got to multiply or divide from left to right. And then once I've done all the multiplication and division, I'll add, subtract from left to right. So let's see. I've got multiply. 5 times 9 is 45. Plus, I can go ahead and do that division because division is going to be next because I'm going left to right. 8 divided by 8 is 1. Minus multiplication. 11 times 2 is 22. So notice I did the multiplication, division, multiplication because that was left to right. Now I'm going to add, subtract left to right. 46 minus 22. That's going to give me a final answer of 24. Now you can use a calculator on problems like this, but it's better if you practice without the calculator so that you practice which one of these operations you're going to have to do first. Because once we get into a little bit of algebra and some other problems, you're going to have to figure out which one goes first, and your calculator's not going to help you. So here I have 8 minus 5 plus 3. Now, some people might think that's a 0 because that's 8 minus 8, but it's not. Because you're going to go left to right. 8 minus 5 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. Example 9. I've got to multiply and divide. I'm going to go left to right. So 12 times 10, 120, divided by 5 is 24. 120 divided by 5 is 24. So our final answer there is 24. I'm working left to right. Okay, I'm working left to right there. Number 10, I've got a fraction again. I'm going to work on the top of my fraction first. I'm going to do the multiplication first. So 2 plus 10 times 4 becomes 2 plus 40. That's going to give me the top of the fraction is 42. And then 13 minus 2 times 3 is going to be 13 minus 6, which is 7. And 42 divided by 7 is 6. So my final answer there is 6. Number 11, working left to right, 6 minus 4 is 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4. And for the last example, I've got division bars, and then I've got that division of 7 and 7 at the end. So I'm going to start with the first fraction. 23 and 4 is a 27. 2 plus 7 is 9. And we'll come back and simplify that in just a minute. Plus 36 divided by 6 is 6. Notice how I'm just working left to right. Minus 7 divided by 7 is 1. So now I've got a division. 27 divided by 9 is 3. Then I'm going to add 6, subtract 1. So 3 plus 6 is 9. Subtract 1 is 8. Notice how I'm only doing one step basically each time that I work out the problem, because I want to take it slowly, follow the order of operations, and remember that you multiply, divide from left to right, and add, subtract from left to right.